Yo, welcome back, guys. I hope you all are doing well as always. Today, I'm going to show you guys how I made this loop for Lil Tecca. It's kind of like melodic and whatnot. I actually recorded this entire video live. Like, I cooked up the whole thing, recorded it. But apparently my resolution settings were set to 360 by 1080p. So it just looked like this. So obviously I'm not going to upload that. So I'm just going to walk you guys through how I made the loop, and that's pretty much it. So I'll just play this loop initially so you guys can hear what it sounds like. I'll play these first two sections. So pretty like wavy, kind of Lil Tecca melodic type of loop. So yeah, so the first thing I did was I opened this Repro 5 plugin, and we're using the preset SD Love Song in the keys and synth section. Now, I don't have the full version of this plugin, so it plays like a bunch of static randomly, so I had to mute it. But I'll just unmute it quick and then play this melody and then kind of explain how I made it. So yeah, basically we're in G major, and if you guys don't know how to like set a scale or whatever, you go to this view section, go down to scale highlighting, and then you can click G and then like a major, minor, whatever. One little like super small thing that I've figured out that kind of helped me a lot is if you just right click these, then the menu goes away automatically, but if you left click them, then the menu actually stays open. And I don't know about you guys, but that used to drive me crazy when I would like try to click like D sharp and then it would just go away, and then I had to go back in and like click major or minor. So if you just left click, the menu will stay there. So how I made these chords is I went to this little circle icon with the 3 lines, click that. This gives you a bunch of different like melodic chord options. So what I did is I just picked major 7th and then clicked C, and then that makes a C major 7th chord. Then the next thing I did was I went back to those options and grabbed a minor 7th chord and then just made this B minor 7th. And that's the only 2 chords that play. And then all I did was I just kind of cut them up in certain ways to make it have more like rhythm. So I chopped up these notes, and then like at the end, you see I just kind of like strummed them out to give it a little more like rhythm. And I also added just a couple extra transitioning notes in like the top end. So then the next thing I did was just got a bass straight away. This is again from Repro. It's the Arc Fat B bass, and it sounds like this. So it just follows the root notes of that MIDI, and actually follows a couple of the like chops that I had just to kind of accent the rhythm. Then the next thing I added, which you didn't hear at the beginning, but it's this lead from Xenology. And I think I'm using the preset, Axe Saw Lead 2. And for this one, I just really kind of tried to riff it and just kind of make something that sounds cool and sort of smooth to fit that sort of like melodic Tecca vibe. So we ended up with this pattern, and right away I have Fruity EQ, just like a reverb and then some delays. And I also added a super faint tremolator, just to kind of give it that sort of realistic tremolo feel. So just like kind of a catchy pattern that just repeats twice. So the next thing I added was another layer to the original MIDI. For this one, we're using an Analog Lab preset. It's called LYRS, and it's from the Multi-Keys 3 bank by Keon. I can't recommend these banks enough for like melodic or analog stuff. They are so fire. Like, I don't know how he makes these presets, but they just add so much texture. So with this layer, we get this. just like crazy amounts of little textures going on. So then I just added another layer of Analog Lab. And for that one, we're using this bokeh preset from the Pedal Tones 2 Bank, again by Keon. And this again just adds another like texture accent layer. This to me is kind of what brings the melody together, because it has a lot of that high end, and it also kind of has that super like melody sound that Tekka uses a lot in his songs. So then the next thing I added was this wave station bell. It's the ballerina bells, and I just kind of added a super simple pattern to accent everything, kind of toss in a little bit of like ear candy notes. So it sounds like this. Just super sparse notes, not really too much of like a melody. They're just kind of little accents. And then my favorite part of this loop, to be honest, is this vocal chop that I added. This is going to be from Arcade, and it's from the Hooked Bank, and the pack is in the open. So on this right away, I added a bunch of stuff. I added some reverb delays, this rabbit tape, like pedal emulator plugin, just kind of adds like a vintage sort of tone to it. I wanted it to kind of sound more like a sample, so that's why I added that. And then I added this radio preset from the parametric EQ, and we get this.
Tell me what we came here for. I can take you anywhere. Ooh, tell me what we came here for. I can take you anywhere.
So a pretty cool, just like kind of accent vocal chop, adds a little bit of interest to the melody. And then as far as arrangement goes, I just kind of had it simple, a couple sounds starting off, and then kind of dropped in the more melodic sounds for like the hook. And then I just took some out here and there for like the verse section. And I really only have that vocal in the beginning, like the intro, because it's kind of hard for artists to like rap over an existing vocal. So I don't really want that kind of playing throughout the entire thing. Then the only other thing I did was dropped it down 3 semitones with this pitch shifter, and then rendered it out. I always toss my loops back into like the mixer, just because then I can EQ out sounds that I don't want. So I like took some of the mids out, added a little bit of high ends, and added some low end. So that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know if you guys like this loop. Let me know if you guys could hear Tekka on it. Since I didn't drum this one, I'm actually going to leave a Dropbox link to it in the description. If you guys want to use it, drum it, you can send it back to me on Discord, or you can just send it in my actual Discord server. Either one works. But yeah, I'm trying to see what you guys can make with it. As always, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I just dropped my 3K drum kit. Go get that if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.